Hello and welcome to the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast with your host, Kimberly Dunn of Idlewild Horsemanship and Mindset Coaching. This podcast is here to bring you the very best in tips, tricks, and advice to help you better understand yourself, your mindset, and your horse, because your horsemanship starts with you. Let's go. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast. This week has been a big week. In particular, I had a big day, which was the 7th. No, it wasn't the 7th. It was the 9th. The 7th is my birthday in January. The 9th of December, a Tuesday, I officially became a published author, which is absolutely insane. So today I would be remiss if I did not talk a little bit about the book, what inspired it, why I wrote it, what it means to me, what I hope that it brings to people. And I'm also going to read through the introduction chapter of the book, because if you haven't got it yet, it will just give you a real feel for what it's about and hopefully just kind of strike a chord. So the book is called The Equestrian's Guide to Confidence and Connection, Transforming Your Partnership with Horses. It is a lovely purple colour that is kind of on brand, kind of a lilac-y, lavendery colour. It has a little sunburst on the cover and a kind of silhouette picture of a girl galloping on a horse, no tack, wind in her hair, free and happy and just loving life. And that is the kind of energy that I wanted to bring to the book. And the back of the book says, if you've lost your confidence with your horse, this is your roadmap home. This book is for every rider who's ever questioned themselves, lost their spark, or felt their fear take the reins. Inside, you'll find practical mindset tools, easy nervous system techniques, and powerful journaling prompts to help you rewire old patterns, rebuild trust, reconnect with your horse, and ride with confidence again. With each reflection, exercise, and gentle mindset, I can never say mindset shift properly. Mindset shift. You'll move closer to calm, clarity, and genuine confidence. I can't see this bit because of flipping resales bit. In and out of the saddle. There we go. I'm holding in front of me the proof at the minute, and it's got a big not for resale thing on it. Written with honesty, warmth, and lived experience, this book gives you the knowledge and tools to create lasting change, one small shift at a time. Small shifts, big change, lasting freedom. That is what we are aiming for. That's what I am aiming for with this book. So I have always known that I have had a book in me. Some people birth children. I have birthed a book. Probably slightly less painful than a child. But yes, it's I've always known that I wanted to write a book. I have always loved writing. And I have lived a life with horses that isn't really your average. And horses have been in my life for forever, but not in the way that you would think, because I didn't get into horses till I was a teenager, but I have always been obsessed with them. I've always had this draw to them, and they're really, really important to me, as I'm sure, if you're listening to this, horses are important to you too. But I know the journey is naff, but like the journey that I've been on with horses has been one of, many, many challenges, because I never felt like a natural at it. My confidence was really low, not because of horses, but because of kind of, different things that, different conditioning that I had and the way I'd kind of grown up in my childhood and stuff. So horses kind of mirrored that to me. They, highlighted my own bullshit. And luckily, over the years, I kind of was a bit blinkered to it. And then eventually, I started diving into the whole self-development thing, and it really landed for me, just um, how much, if you let them, horses can show you about yourself. And if you choose to work on that, if you choose to face that and look at it and work on it, then then your life will change, profoundly. Oh, I'm getting totes emotion. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Anyway, so um kind of distracted by how emotional I got then. Okay, so. Not only that, I faced my own challenges with, I went through that stage of constantly falling off, of feeling like I should give horses up, which was devastating because I loved them so much. And, I so wanted to be good at it, and I nearly gave up because I felt like I wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough, and I wasn't ever going to be good enough. I was always going to be behind, and that's just the way I was. And then, it wasn't until I shifted things around and changed where I was and who I was working for and the horses I was working with, et cetera, that things started to change. And then years later, like I said, I dived into all of this self-development stuff, and I truly understood the power of mindset work, of understanding your own patterns and changing them, and that it's possible to change them, and totally shifting my own confidence. And the more I shifted things, the more I became passionate about it and wanted to learn about it. And kind of adjacent to that in my life, I had gone down the path of wanting to be a horse trainer. And so I'd learned all of the things I possibly could, been around the world, worked with different trainers all around the world, experienced different things, and learned as much as I could to become the best horse person I could be. And then combining the two, I began to realize that actually being a horse trainer wasn't my path. My path was to help the owners understand themselves and change their own mindset and their own confidence and understand their horse, and therefore becoming the bridge between the horse and the human, and reforging that connection, so that both horse and human can truly connect, can truly be in that partnership and feel confident in themselves and in one another. And so, that is what I do now. That is my life. That is my job. That is something I'm so passionate about. And I get up every day and I cannot wait to help people with it. I am so passionate about it. And because of that, then I thought, do you know what? Like this work needs to reach as many people as possible. And while I am still working on, my online brand and growing that and reaching a wider audience to help them as much as I can, whether it's with free things like this, with the podcast, or whether it's just in the content I post, or whether it's in, people paying me and working one-to-one or in group programs. And now through this book, because this book is, basically everything that I have learned, it's split in chapters, some things people can pick up and read and work through and understand and bookmark and dog ear the pages and come back to it again and again, to help empower you to help yourself. Because the thing that everybody needs to realize, I needed to realize this, is that everything you need is already within you. It's already there. We think we have to keep searching outside for everything, for validation, for feeling worthy, for feeling good enough, for being loved even. But actually, it's already within you. And I know this is very deep and quite profound, but it's true. And honestly, it's something that, I know this year for me as well, this is going off piste a little bit, but I know a lot of people have had a tough year this year, one way or another. you've had a tough year. And look, without sounding too woo, it is because of the astrology. The astrology is a bit wild this year. And so everybody is being pushed to their limits. Everybody is being tested. Everybody is having things that um, kind of wounds that they might have are coming up again and again. And this year's been tough for me too. Like I've had so many different challenges this year. It's just been crackers. I've completely lost my trail of thought with that. Oh yeah. So, and for me, it's been big, big lessons in, trusting, and not seeking validation, which is a kind of a lesson I thought I'd already learned, but apparently I needed to come back to that this year. And so, yeah, it's so important that we're able to see these things, we're able to recognize them, and we're able to turn and look at them. And this book is going to give you the knowledge to be able to do that. Now, aside from working with me one-to-one, this book contains steps for you to work through to recognize your own patterns, to understand yourself and your mindset. Because the thing is, when you understand why you are the way you are, why you think the way you think, why you worry about what you worry about, why your body reacts in a certain way in certain situations, and how actually you can shift that, like that is the most powerful thing when you know why. In knowing why, that empowers you then to take action and make change. It's when we're kind of like rifling around and we don't know what to do, we don't know how we're supposed to be, we don't know how to help our horse. That's when we get stuck and that's when we get scared. But when we know what to do, suddenly you feel confident. So, that got quite heated. But that's why I've written the book, is so that it can reach as many people as possible. So speaking of which, it's now available on Amazon. Because I self-published it with Amazon, which is a whole other thing as well, actually, the whole publishing process. Oh my God. So I wrote the book. Obviously, it was a bit of a slog. I mean, it's not the longest book in the world by a long stretch. It's enough so that it gives you what you need. It gives you a sprinkling of like bits of my own story with horses so that it's relatable and hopefully interesting. And it does what it says on the tin, and it is what you need. It's not 10 hours long. It's not War and Peace. But anyway, it took time to write and a lot of brain power. And I had to like put aside time, pretty much every day, half an hour a day. I started off at 10 minutes a day, then I went to 20 minutes, then I went to half an hour and kind of tried to ease myself into it. Like, what's the word? What's the phrase? I was practicing what I preach, in that I was breaking it down into small, tiny, manageable steps. And then the whole publishing side of things, I wanted to self-publish because this book, at the end of the day, is very, very niche. So I did apply to a publishing agent, but didn't hear anything back. But it's very niche. I get it. So yeah, I published with Amazon. I learned a lot, like the last month in particular, trying to actually get it published, and learning about formatting and all the tech side of things was a massive challenge because it's not my forte at all. So this book isn't as perfect as I would like it to be, but I am at a point where I just want to get it out. It needs to be out. It needs to be out of me and out into the world. And so, yeah, I hope it is what everyone needs. So anyway, let's get into I'll give you an outline of the chapters. So we have Chapter 1, Redefining Success as an Equestrian. Chapter 2, Are You Chasing the Right Goals? Chapter 3, Self-Awareness, the Key to Change. Chapter 4, Rewiring the Narrative, the Stories You Tell Yourself. Chapter 5, Fear and Understanding the Nervous System for humans and horses. Chapter 6, Are You Meeting the Basic Needs of Your Partnership? Chapter 7, The Reticular Activating System, Why What You Focus On Grows. Chapter 8, Gratitude and Small Wins, Training Your Brain for More Confidence. Chapter 9, Things Happen for You, Not to You, A New Lens. Chapter 10, Tools for Transformation. Oh, God. transformation. Techniques to shift your state. Chapter 11, trusting yourself, reclaiming your confidence. Chapter 12, the home stretch, turning your newfound badass insight into daily habits and reconnecting with your horse. And then it finishes with a bonus section, which is a 7-day kickstart habit plan. So that's basically a guide to take you through. And then at the end, the acknowledgements. Okay, so I'm going to dive into the introduction just to give you an idea, and here's hoping I can read it properly. I don't know if there's ever going to be an audio version of this book, by the way. An option hasn't come up for me to do that. I'm still, again, figuring out the tech. If it ever comes to it and I am able to record an audio book, I will. But as it stands right now, that's not possible. But here's a little practice for me. So this is the introduction to the book. I have never considered myself a quote-unquote horse person. Maybe it's because I was a late starter. Maybe it was because I didn't fit the bill from all the Saddle Club books I read as an early teen. Or maybe it's because my first horse was a wooden hobby horse, show name Lucky Star, that I borrowed from my cousin. Whatever the reason, despite working with horses all over the world for 20 years, gulp, it wasn't until I finally explored the world of mindset and self-development that I realised the one thing that defines horse people isn't whether or not you've been riding since you were 2, the amount of rosettes you've accumulated, or that you own your own team of horses. It's the undying, unadulterated love and passion for these animals that is ingrained in your soul that makes you a horse person. It doesn't matter where you are from, how you were brought up, or whether you started from a young age in the horse world. The love for horses is a strange magic that you are born with, no matter your background. It took this work to show me that you don't need to fit the bill to deserve success in the horse world. You just need to believe in yourself and know that your love for these animals is enough. It's been said many times, but us horse people are a different breed of human. We fall off, get hurt, and continue to get back on. We take pride in the perfect muck heap or straw bed and spend hours picking up poo, regularly ignoring our own chronic pain and happily handing over the cash for our horses to have physio. We are resilient, we are tough, and we are dedicated. But because of this level of passion, this fire, and this dedication of our very souls to these animals, when it goes out or threatens to wane, it can be devastating because horses are our identity. When we no longer feel that connection, it can be heartbreaking. And that is where I come in. I've been there. I've questioned, why do I bother? I've told myself, I'm not natural. I'm never going to be good enough. And what's the point? And I've experienced that devastating feeling. I have also come through that. I have made big changes in my life, my mindset, and my horsemanship, and come through those times stronger than ever. Over time, I have forged unwavering belief in myself and the ability to truly feel that joy and magic of connection with horses again. As we go through this book, we will visit various points in my journey which will further explain why I'm so passionate about the work I do today. And I hope it will inspire you in your own journey with horses and, of course, in your own confidence and self-belief. I forgot how long this introduction is. I spent the majority of my early life with horses, I'd say between the age of 17 to 27, living in my feelings and lacking a lot of self-awareness. I was very easily consumed by anxiety and worry, and I cared desperately about what others thought of me and sought validation often. The confidence I had was very fragile, took lots of building, and was very easily shattered. I look back now and remember... Oh, God. I'm not going to be very good on this audiobook, I don't think. I look back now and remember how visceral those feelings of worry were. How much I sought to prove my worth to those around me, often getting close to burnout as a result. Horses had always been an obsession of mine from a young age, but I was a late starter, not fully arriving in the world until I was 17 and could pay my own way. Horses were immediately a great focus for me at that young age and offered sanctuary and a feeling of home I didn't know I needed, a feeling of which I'm sure many can relate to. At this time in my life, I was particularly, quote unquote, troubled. There was no doubt I was a raging ball of hormones, but I had also experienced my fair share of trauma and family upheaval as a teen, culminating in a relocation across the country to live with my dad and my stepfamily. At the time, I just remember feeling a lot of anger, sadness, and frustration, but could never pinpoint why when those surges of emotion appeared. I remember always trying to find something to blame in the moment, not knowing that it was just simply my body and my mind trying to process everything that had happened throughout those years. Horses gave me something to focus on, new things to learn, and of course, a feeling of peace and freedom that we all get so addicted to. I followed that feeling and embarked on my career with horses, locking in and burying the bits of my life that I didn't want to look at in my mind, not knowing that later on these things would come back and bite me on the arse in various ways as the years went on. That need for validation, to prove my worth, the lack of faith and confidence in myself, that patterning was all there for a reason. And it wouldn't be until years later that I would finally address it and let it all go. I tell you this because it's important to know that often the insecurities we have, the patterns of behavior and thoughts, all come from somewhere. And it's usually from traumas with a big T or a little t that we pick up as young people. So, where does this fit in with horses? Before I learned about nervous system regulation and the very simple tools to achieve that, more on that later, and so many valuable ways to shift my mindset and lay the foundations to my most confident self, I was missing true connection with all the horses I worked with. I wasn't able to truly be in the moment with them, to meet their needs and forge true partnerships. Hindsight isn't always helpful, but oh, how different things would be with horses. How different things could have been with horses I crossed paths with in my younger years had I realised the importance of this back then. I was so caught up in what other people might think of me, to the point where I even worried about whether the horses liked me or not. And I was always ever focused on what could go wrong in every situation, often spiraling and catastrophizing into every worst case scenario. This, of course, sucked the joy out of most moments and made me overthink and analyze everything. I dread to think what my cortisol levels were like back then. Nowadays, things are totally different. I am able to self-soothe with nervous system regulation techniques. I no longer spiral into oblivion. I know my worth and validate myself rather than seeking it from outside sources. And I have totally transformed my confidence and faith in myself through rewiring my mind. So, why does this mindset stuff matter for all equestrians when it comes to spending time with horses? The truth is, it matters so much more than we think. It's so much more. Horses are prey animals, and their primary method of survival in the wild and their greatest instinct is flight. As a result of this, our horses are constantly scanning their environment for danger, and their senses are considerably more acute than ours. And this means a few things for us humans, flipping heck. Number one, this is why they see, hear, experience the world differently to us, and therefore seemingly spook/respond to things that we consider insignificant or don't even sense ourselves. Death by daffodil, anyone? Number two, if our energy is off, i.e. we are grumpy, frustrated, scared, anxious, etc., your horse knows, and they will respond however they need to feel safe as a result. This means they might take over and not listen to us because they feel they are on their own. And it might mean that they shut down to feel safe, becoming unresponsive to aids, or, of course, it could mean they are extra spooky and reactive because if we are nervous, then they pick up on that and associate it with something dangerous. Number 3, when we're feeling nervous, frustrated, or stressed while working or training with our horses, and maybe it seems like no matter what we do or what they do, nothing is going right, it is often because both of us have become dysregulated and slipped into survival mode. I'll explain what this means shortly, but learning to recognize and work with this state is an absolute game changer in how we connect, communicate, and train with our horses. So you see, our mindsets, the way we see and experience our world, and the way we respond to stressors has a massive impact in our relationships with our horses and in the partnerships we share with them. This is why I am so passionate about what I do. And this is why my tagline, "Your horsemanship starts with you," is something I bat around so much. Because it does. There are 2 of you in your relationship, and the chances are, if things aren't going the way you'd like, it's down to you as much, if not more, as it is them. You can change the way you see the world. You can create your own reality, and you can absolutely have the relationship you desire with your horse and tap into the confident, carefree horse person that already lives inside you. Da, 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 da. There we go. That was the introduction to the book, which was longer than I remember. So there we go. That was the introduction. And then we head into chapter 1, which is... what is chapter 1? What is chapter 1? Redefining success as an equestrian. So, yeah, I mean, if you've got it already, I hope you love it. If you haven't got it, go check it out. I will be putting the links in the show notes, but you can find it on Amazon. It's The Equestrian's Guide to Confidence and Connection. And you can get it in paperback, or you can also get it on your Kindle. So yeah, it's available in both of those formats. Like I said, I need to research the old Audible thing. And if you do buy it, please, pretty please, review it if you love it, because that means it's going to reach more people. And also, I would love it if loads of people bought it and I ended up a bestseller in my small little niche of horsey books. So yeah, that's another driver. But ultimately, I just want it to reach as many people as possible and help as many people as possible. And I would love it if you know anybody that needs this in their lives, to either share this podcast episode with them, or share the book with them, send them a link, buy it for them for Christmas, whatever you want to do. Ultimately, you don't have to buy if you don't want to, but I would love it if you did. Anyway, that's it from me this week. I have had a crazy week. I can't believe it's here. I hope that you love it. I hope that it's helpful, and I hope it gives you some insight into your own mindset and reconnecting with your horse and reconnecting with your own light, your own confidence, and your own joy again. That's what it's for. So without further ado, I'm going to sign off, but I hope you love the book. Go buy it, enjoy it, let me know what you think, and I will see you in next week's episode. Over and out.